The Galactic Council's emergency session had been called with unprecedented urgency. Ambassador Zethkar of the Vorthani Empire, his crystalline carapace shimmering with anxiety patterns, addressed the assembly of 12 species that governed known space. "The humans," he began, his voice resonating through the translators, "have been silent for 73 standard cycles. Our last diplomatic contact ended with their polite but firm request for isolation. We believed they were struggling." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. The Kalari delegate, her feathers rustling with concern, spoke next. "When we first encountered humanity, they seemed so primitive. Single-planet species, barely past nuclear fission, wars still raging across their homeworld. We offered guidance, technology, membership in our council. They declined," added the Nethys ambassador, his tentacles writhing with remembered frustration. "Insisted they needed time to sort things out among themselves. We assumed they would destroy themselves within a few cycles, as most aggressive species do." Zethkar nodded gravely. "We prepared humanitarian aid, refugee ships, adoption programs for surviving human children. We even cleared colonization rights on 17 worlds for the survivors we expected to rescue." The holographic display at the chamber's center flickered to life, showing the Sol system. What it revealed made every delegate fall silent. Where once a single inhabited world had orbited the yellow star, now a network of massive structures gleamed in the void. Orbital rings encircled not just Earth, but Mars, Venus, and even the gas giants. Asteroid belt mining operations stretched for millions of kilometers, their industrial signatures blazing like artificial suns. "By the eternal depths," whispered the Aquatic Union representative, water cycling rapidly through her breathing apparatus. What are we looking at?" The display zoomed closer. Earth itself was unrecognizable, not scarred by war as they had expected, but transformed. The planet's surface showed vast green spaces interwoven with gleaming cities that seemed to grow like living organisms. The orbital rings weren't just industrial, they were habitats, each one larger than the homeworlds of most council species. "Our deep space monitors detected massive energy signatures 3 cycles ago," Zethkar continued, his voice barely steady. "We sent a probe. It was intercepted." The transmission that followed filled the chamber with a voice speaking in perfect galactic standard, calm and measured. "To our friends in the Galactic Council, we appreciate your decades of patience with our silence. We have been busy. If you wish to renew diplomatic contact, we extend an invitation to visit Sol system. Fair warning, we have changed." The Council's finest diplomatic vessel, Unity's Promise, approached the Sol system's edge. With every sensor array active and all defensive systems powered down as a gesture of peaceful intent, Captain Morden of the Hegemony Fleet had volunteered for this mission, his forearms steady on the controls despite his species' legendary nervousness. "Captain," called his sensor operator, voice tight with disbelief, "I'm reading over 40,000 artificial constructs in this system. Massive ones. Some are the size of moons." The viewscreen revealed the impossible truth. Humanity hadn't just survived. They had utterly transformed their solar system into something beyond council understanding. Massive ring habitats, spun slowly around the sun itself. Dyson swarm collectors dotted the system like glittering scales, and moving between them. "Ships," breathed the communications officer. "Thousands of them. No, tens of thousands." A gentle chime indicated an incoming transmission. The face that appeared was human, but somehow more than the council delegates remembered. The woman's eyes held depths that suggested experiences beyond anything in their databases. "Welcome to Sol system," she said, her smile warm but carrying an edge of something vast and patient. "I am Admiral Chen speaking for the Terran Collective. We're honored by your visit." "Admiral," Captain Morden managed, We came to offer assistance. We believed humanity might be in need of aid." Admiral Chen's smile widened slightly. "How kind. We have prepared a tour, if you're interested in seeing what we've accomplished. Fair warning, it might be educational." The tour changed everything. They saw worlds where humans had learned to thrive in environments that would kill most species. Deep space habitats where children played in zero gravity, their laughter echoing through chambers that defied physics, as the Council understood it. They witnessed manufacturing processes that somehow merged matter at the quantum level, producing materials that shouldn't exist. But it was the people that truly unsettled the delegates. Humans worked alongside artificial intelligences that seemed less like tools and more like beloved partners. They had extended their lifespans not through technology imposed from outside, but by understanding and rewriting their own genetic code. Some had adapted themselves for different environments, gills for the ocean worlds, enhanced muscle density for high-gravity stations, photosynthetic skin for the orbital platforms closest to their star. How? Zethkar finally asked as they toured a habitat ring where millions lived in what appeared to be a carefully balanced ecosystem. How did you accomplish all this in less than a century? Admiral Chen paused beside a viewing port where human children played with creatures that appeared to be pets, but moved in ways that suggested they were at least partially artificial. You offered to help us, she said quietly, and we appreciate the thought. But you made an assumption. Which was? You assumed we needed saving from ourselves. She turned to face the delegation, and in her eyes, they saw something that made several species take an involuntary step backward. We didn't need saving. We needed time to figure out who we wanted to become. The tour continued to places that defied council science, laboratories where humans were working on projects that would reshape the fundamental forces of reality, archives where the accumulated knowledge of their species was stored in quantum, matrices that seemed to exist partially outside normal spacetime. We studied your histories, Admiral Chen explained as they walked through a garden where impossible flowers bloomed in fractal patterns. Every species you've contacted has faced the same choice: accept your guidance and become junior members of your galactic civilization, or reject it and face extinction. You mean well, but you've created a galaxy of managed species, each one settled into roles you've decided are appropriate for them. The implications hung in the air like a gathering storm. The final stop on their tour was a chamber deep within the habitat ring, where a holographic map showed not just their local galaxy, but dozens of others stretching into the cosmic deep. Red markers indicated something that made every council, delegate circulatory system freeze. We've been busy, Admiral Chen said simply. While you managed your local affairs, we've been exploring. These markers represent first contact with other galactic civilizations. Some friendly, others. She paused meaningfully. Others, not so much. What are you saying? Zethkar whispered, though he suspected he already knew. 3 cycles ago, we intercepted communications from the Devourers. You know them, the hive mind that consumed the Andromeda spiral. They've noticed this galaxy. Their scout fleets are en route. Admiral Chen's expression remained calm, but something dangerous flickered in her eyes. They'll arrive in approximately 18 cycles. The chamber fell silent except for the quiet hum of the station systems. The Council has managed this galaxy for millennia, Admiral Chen continued, creating a stable, peaceful civilization by preventing any species from becoming too powerful, too independent. It's admirable in its way, but it's also left you utterly unprepared for a real threat. Captain Mordun found his voice. What do you propose? Admiral Chen smiled, and for the first time since they'd arrived, it was entirely genuine. The same thing we've been doing for 73 cycles. We solve problems. But this time we'd like your help. Not as subjects, but as partners. Equals. She gestured to the holographic display and new markers appeared. Vast fleets of ships that dwarfed anything in Council space. Technological capabilities that seemed to bend reality itself. And behind it all, the quiet confidence of a species that had looked at the universe's challenges and decided to meet them head-on. You thought we needed help, Admiral Chen said softly. Instead, we're offering it to you. The question is, are you ready to stop being managed and start being free? The Council delegates looked at each other, then at the impossible achievements surrounding them, and finally at the calm certainty in human eyes that promised both salvation and transformation. For the first time in galactic history, the Council voted unanimously. They chose freedom.